Hello friends, welcome to Flosstube and Variety Show number 18. This is September 26th, I think, Sunday, and I'm Emily Williams and I'm in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where it is gorgeous weather. We have had the most spectacular last several days, highs in the mid-70s, lows in the probably 50s, just lovely. Really perfect weather. I think perfect. I think it's perfect summer weather. Now, Chapel Hill, North Carolina has imperfect summer weather, but many people like it. And I've lived here for 41 years, so I must not hate it. Speaking of the weather, I'll show you temperature tree. I don't know where my pieces of paper are. Well, I'm not going to show you the pieces of paper because I don't know where they are. So here is temperature tree. You get the idea. This is a pattern by StitchinMommy. You can find it on Etsy. And you can see over here, this is, whoa, I'm going to have trouble holding this, but here's September branch. And we go along, we're kind of medium hot, and then we're not hot, and then we're those bright orange. Represent 2 days, highs of 75. And yesterday was similar, probably going to be the same color, and today will probably be the same color. It is supposed to get warm midweek, this week again, into the mid-80s, but probably we won't see 90s again this calendar year. That's my guess. Could, but maybe not. Again, I don't know where my paper is. I'm not 100% prepared apparently, but if you are wishing to see the actual cover pages of these, you can look at previous videos. This is Talavera. It's a mystery stitch along where one part is released each month. And I was hoping that by today, I would be able to show you the start or even the finish of another one of those blocks, but I found I'd made a mistake. So I had to pull a lot out of the border. I miscounted. So you can kind of see, maybe, I don't know. But you see I'm starting the inner part of the blocks. That's how I discovered I was miscounted. And I'm not a perfectionist. I would possibly not have pulled this out to correct it, except that I'm not sure what's happening down below because it's a mystery stitch along, so we don't know what's happening down in here where it would have been affected by me being off by one stitch in these borders and over on this side. So I decided I would pull it out because that way I won't have to fudge everything. I'll just be correct. I'll fix it. So that's what I did. So not as much progress as I'd hoped, but I will show you more progress, I think, next time. Again, I don't know where my paper is. This is Ornament. This is a pattern that I got off of Etsy. It's by ZephyrMood. And I'm coming up on 60% done on this. This is the last block. It has some of the dark blue in there also. And then the borders are finished, this side border and this little bottom border. And then I'm missing some bottom border here and somewhere else. Oh, here. And at that point, I will have finished 60% or maybe a little more because the borders are maybe a bonus. But anyway, I'm really happy still with how that's all coming out. You might wonder what I'm going to do with it. I'm thinking of a pillow cover, actually. Making a little pillow out of it. Backing it with some coordinated cotton fabric and making a little piping or something. That could be nice. That could sit on a little couch. And yes, it will get dirty and people will sit on it and, it's a thing. I've enjoyed stitching it. That's the important part. So I think it was just last video, I showed you my long ago abandoned Dawna Barton chart called Dinner Bell. And it was the geese, remember the geese? I showed you the picture of it. I had started just a corner of it, and I asked in that video, did you think I should finish that? Well, I decided, look at that. Ha, I'm joking. This is not mine. My friend Cindy also had done this pattern way back in the day when it was first released. And she did almost finish it. It is almost finished. And she and I were talking yesterday, and she said she wasn't, she likes it. She didn't think she would finish it. And I said, I'll finish it for you. All that's missing is the back stitching around some parts of the geese and their little eyes. And their little eyes are supposed to be tiny black French knots, which I happen to love to make French knots. But seeing this makes me really want to finish mine. So I think that probably next year you'll see this piece come out, and I'll be working on it myself. But in the meantime, I think I'll finish Cindy's for her. And it's really beautiful. I really like it, how it turned out. So good job, Cindy. Now, yes, I do have this. Another thing I wanted to show you was in October, there is a event coming up in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in called Semi-Sane Stitchers, which is a challenge event where each participant posts 2 or 3 pictures of things that they are working on or want to work on, and then the group votes on which one they will focus on for that particular week. So for 4 weeks in October, you're supposed to allow the group to pick your priority for you. I think that's kind of fun. And it doesn't have to be just current projects that you already have going. It can be new projects. And we have talked before in my videos, that is, I have talked and you have apparently listened, because here you are still, about how many works in progress is the right number. At this moment, I have 6, not counting the geese. I don't count that yet because I haven't picked up that, my project isn't underway yet. Of course, there are billions of charts out there that I've seen on other YouTubes or by perusing sites that I think I want to stitch also. But I do think that 6 is the right number of sizable projects. But I have some non-sizable projects that I might put 1 or 2 in this voting situation on that Facebook group for the month of October. So I thought I'd show you. So the first 5 I'm going to show you, well, the 5 that I'm going to show you that are the tiny projects are the only ones I think I would consider putting up in that voting, because I don't want to start another large project. But I'm going to show you something largish at the end. So these are little reproductions of famous art. I'm going to hold it back here because it is better looking if you're farther away from it, but I'll stick it up here now so you can see it. But these are done by Cross Stitch Obsession, which is an Etsy designer. And the ones that I have picked, I think I showed you 1 or 2 of these before maybe. I mean, these are recognizable art. I happen to have picked impressionistic pieces. That one isn't exactly the same as the others. But you know, they're recognizable, they're very small, they're about 1,000 stitches each. And if I do them on 18 count, they will be 2 inches or so, 2 1/4 inches or something. I think they'll be fun. I really do. And 1,000 stitches is about a week, if that's my focus. So I'm thinking I will put at least 1 or 2 of those up for the voting for the month of October. So we'll see. We'll see which ones I choose to put up and which ones my fellow Facebook group members think would be most interesting for me to work on. And my goal, if they choose one of them, my goal will be to finish that one that week. Now, I will still work on other projects because I want to make progress on them. So that is something coming up. This is the other thing I'm going to work on. I think I may plan to start it in January, not before then. Hopefully in January I will actually have 2 projects finished that are current projects. One being the Mystery Stitch Along, which the last pattern is released on December 1st. So I'm behind by a couple of months plus some, but I think I can catch up on that. It's very enjoyable to work on. So that's one thing that will be finished. And the temperature tree will be finished on December 31st in the evening, because the high temperature of the day will have happened and I will be able to look that up. So certainly, maybe not literally December 31st, but early in January, that can be finished. So I'm thinking of starting this. It's the it's called, Snippet. Snippet is the size, or it indicates that it's a portion of a larger chart. It's called Tiger Stare by Charting Creations. And it is somewhere, it says what the number of stitches is, but it's smaller, a little bit smaller, maybe 2/3 or 3/4 the size of Under the Roof of Blue Ionian Weather. And it uses many fewer colors and it doesn't use any blends. So actually it will be a faster stitch by quite a bit than Under the Roof of Blue Ionian Weather. So maybe I'll start that in January. And speaking of Under the Roof, I made a lot of progress this week on it. In fact, I'll show it to you. I'm not going to bother showing you the paper. Again, I don't know exactly what I did with all those papers. I don't know if you can see this, but maybe if I hold it at just the right angle, you can see that there's a straight line here of stitching. There's quite a bit all the way up into here of this brightest white stitching, and you can sort of see that. That is a big swath of number of stitches. It's altogether this section from where my finger is up to here, where that white is, it's probably 800 stitches. And it goes fast because it's a lot of fill-in, not a ton of counting. You have to notice at the beginning and the end of each row where to start and end. So I've been working on this while I watch football, because it is football season. And it's also the late days of the Major League Baseball season. A lot of sports possible. So it's nice to have some fill-in stitching to do. But soon I think I'll switch back to some area of a lot of confetti because it has to be done and I might as well do it. But the reason I didn't show this, except I'm showing it now, is because it's so gray and it's so hard to tell. I mean, it's more creamy than gray, but it's really hard to tell what I've done. But I have a lot of quilts I want to make. Yes, a lot. And I'm going to show you just one pattern. This is called 3D Pop Star. It's a Fat Quarter Shop pattern. It was free. And the thing I like about it is that those stars they appear to be casting a shadow. And really, if you were to go to their webpage or their Instagram account, you'd see actual quilts rather than this model, computer-generated model of it, and they look better. And I wouldn't use these colors. I would use brighter colors for the stars. And I'm thinking that I might make this quilt soon. It's fun. It's a fun look to it. I like that effect. The finished quilt is 50 by 63, so it's not a big quilt. It's sit under the, sit while watching TV and pull it over you kind of quilt. So I might make that. Of course, it could easily be made larger by just making more stars, which I could easily do. But the directions that Fat Quarter Shop gives for their quilts are pretty good. They're quite easy to follow and produce good results. So that is my cross stitch and quilting. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, and of course, do I have it within reach? No, because I'm a total discombobulated person this morning. I don't understand that. I wanted to mention puzzle type things that I like to do. Pardon me, I'm gonna go off camera for just a moment, but I'm still here. I'm just reaching something. Here I am, I'm back. This is a magazine, Games World of Puzzles. This is full cover. I actually used to subscribe to Games Magazine and to Games World of Puzzles years ago, before there were iPads and when the most complicated game that was available on your computer was solitaire. Because I really like the types of puzzles that are in here. There are, you know, logic puzzles and other kinds of logic puzzles, you know, different sorts of graphical puzzles. And I really like, there's crosswords and some sort of novelty crossword puzzles and those, these quote slide kind of puzzles where you drop the letters down into the appropriate boxes. A lot of this type of puzzle is available on my iPad as well. And I do play those sorts of games on the iPad, but sometimes you just like a magazine. So I do subscribe to that. And a few weeks ago, my son got me going on a YouTube channel called Cracking the Cryptic, which is primarily about Sudoku. And Sudoku, you may know, is putting the digits 1 to 9 into a 9x9 grid under certain simple rules. You can't repeat a digit in a single horizontal line, vertical line, or in a 9x9 box that makes up, of which there are 9 that make up the grid. Very simple rules, some interesting challenges. I've been playing Sudoku for years. Well, Cracking the Cryptic has opened my eyes to a lot of different types of Sudoku puzzles with other specialized rules. I really enjoy watching that channel, and they have apps and they have tips for solving classic Sudoku, which is what most of you are probably familiar with, what I was familiar with, as well as these other more variants, I'll say, on Sudoku, and fascinating. So that is something I've been spending some time on. Too much time, you might say. Emily, you spend too much time on that kind of thing. But I think doing things that are hard are good for our brains. And as we get older, I think it's good to do things that are good for our brains, because we don't want our brains to turn to mush. That's what I think. So, friends, kind of a short video today, mostly plans. Oh, one other plan I'll mention is next weekend is the first weekend of October, which is the Blackbird Design Weekend Stitch Along, and I will continue to work on Salute to Abigail. I think that probably I have 2 more weekends worth of work to do on that to finish it. So I won't finish it next weekend, I don't think, but I might finish it by the beginning of November. So we'll see. I would like to finish it this year. and you start something else, because of all the Blackbird, many of the, I shouldn't say all, some of them don't ring my chimes, but many of the Blackbird designs are really beautiful. And if you want to know more about Blackbird designs, you can, on Instagram, look for hashtag BBDWeekendSAL, BBDWeekendSal, and find many wonderful projects that people are working on at the first weekend of each month. So it's great. It's inspiring. It makes me want to go and buy more Blackbird charts and make them. But you know, 6 projects plus the occasional small thing like an art reproduction, that's enough for me. All right, folks, that's all for today. I hope that you have a great week doing what you enjoy doing. I hope that there are many good things that are happening in your life. I hope that fall weather is coming your way, beautiful days like we've been having, and many blessings to you, friends.